Several of them too.
Good morning. Good morning. It's Rashida, and I'm here today with my special guest, Heather Renee. We are talking today about van life. Heather is a Black woman who built out her own van and lives in it part time and travels in it. Um, and we're going to talk about that experience. So I'm so excited for all of you guys here in the comments who are watching live. Say, hey, if you're watching this on the replay, let us know. Let me know. Write in the comments you're watching the replay. And then if you have questions, go on ahead and drop them in the comments. I know this is going to be a question heavy live. I went live on IG on Thursday. I go live on IG every Thursday, and y'all had like maybe 30 questions, and you don't normally have this many. So I know we're going to get to it. But first, hi, Heather. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm
Good.
excited to be here to share all I know because there's a lot.
Yay. Yay. Okay. So, first question, where in the world are you?
So right now I'm in Houston, Texas. This is my home base. I actually live here with my sister, so I have the flexibility to move around. I stay here whenever I want to rest and kind of plan my next move. So usually
Okay.
come right to Houston. Houston is kind of like, just can go from there. It's the bottom of the country, then I can just kind of decide what direction do I want to go this time. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay. And I've been watching you. So Heather and I met in Playa del Carmen. And we've been like internet friends since then. So I've been watching you on IG, and I know you've gone on a lot of, I see your stories, you've gone on a lot of different trips. Um, let's back up a second. Let's start from the beginning. So
okay.
you've been running around the country in your van, but let's back up and get to the very beginning. What made you decide that you wanted to experience van life?
Yeah. So I had been kind of seeing it, of course, out on the internet a lot. And I always loved travel anyway. So, like you said, we met in Playa del Carmen. That's when I was actually living in Mexico. And so, when I had finished my stay in Mexico and had come back to the States and was deciding where I was going to go next, and then the pandemic hit. And I said, oh, okay, now I can't go anywhere. So what am I going to do? I still want to travel. So in those kind of discussions with friends and things, and then I said, oh, I can look at van life again because I can stay within the country. There's a lot of places in the country that I haven't been. But it would be nice to do it, kind of on my own terms, like not having to worry about hotels and that kind of thing. So just actually put it out into the universe. And my dad knew a person that was selling a van, just happenstance. He's like, I have a van parked in my backyard. This lady's been trying to sell me for the last couple of years. And I was like, perfect. So went to Iowa to get the van and just started that build. Just really wanted to be able to travel, even though we couldn't travel outside the country like what I would have preferred. But yeah, I hadn't seen all of the U.S., so let's get to it.
Okay. So what did you know about building out a van when you bought the van?
I did not know anything.
All right.
I did not. Now I am an engineer by training, however, not mechanical, but I am one of those DIY person. I'm crafting all the time, making stuff. So I knew I could go on YouTube and figure out what to do. So that's all I did was I research on each step. So what I did was kind of had an idea of what I wanted the van to look like, and so then I just went looking for those different resources. So I would find different blogs and YouTube videos, even going to the hardware stores and asking around. I'm trying to do this. How would I do that? So a lot of it was just research, and I just by step figured out what do I need to do for this particular
Okay.
piece.
Okay. So you weren't like, you never built like vehicles, like building out vehicles isn't your thing. Like you were like, you're just a regular Black girl who was like, I want to do this. Let me
Yeah,
talk to YouTube, which I
yeah,
tell well, anything you want to do, you can figure out how to do it on YouTube.
oh
Like
yeah.
anything. So you got the steps, you figured out what you want to do. How did you figure out what you wanted your van to actually look like? Was that more of going to the blogs and YouTube to figure out how other people had done it? Or like seeing
Yeah.
what different configurations were?
Yeah, so I would see different setups. I would see there's a lot of different types of builds. They can start with a no build where you just kind of go with what's in there and just
Mhm.
go. Some people will strip it down and then just put in IKEA furniture and roll out. But then, of course, there's the higher end builds. More
Mhm.
people have hire carpenters and do all of that. But I knew I could do the basic things. Basically, I knew I wanted a bed, I wanted some cabinetry, a sink, and so I just kind of went on and seen what other people were doing and made that decision. And it's based on a lot of aesthetics, but you actually will figure out what you want as you go along, and then it will change too. Because I've changed. Like I'm actually in the middle of changing it right now. I was finished, and I was like, I want to change the ceiling now. So I'm actually changing that now. But um, that's why I just kind of figured it out as I went along, and not really get. I didn't get bogged down in the beginning trying to have everything figured out because there's just a lot.
Okay.
So you can just start with what you need basics on the basics and then build from there.
Okay. So what was the first thing that you were like, this is what I like when you think about your van, like I
Mhm,
want to travel in this long term. This is my,
mhm,
my new baby. This is my new project.
mhm.
What was the thing that you were like, I need this one thing besides the bed? Because we already talked about a bed.
Okay, well, and the bed was number one because I wanted to be the most comfortable bed
Okay.
ever. I'm like a hotel freak too, so I'm like I pick a hotel based on the bed. So bed was number
Mhm.
one, but then I traveled with the cat, so I had to have space for the cat to kind of hide and do her little thing. Um, and then also I wanted to be able to cook in there and run electronics. Like I work online, so I wanted to be able to have a way to charge my laptop or my cameras and that kind of thing without having to depend on outside power sources.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
writing down. We're going to talk about Wi-Fi in a minute.
Yeah.
So I'm
Oh
writing
yeah.
that down as a
Hmm.
question. Y'all on Thursday, y'all gave me all. Oh, is that your cat? Is your
Yeah.
cat named Oscar or did I make that up?
It's Oliver.
Oliver. Okay. All
Yes. Very close.
right.
It's Oliver.
Hi, Oliver. All right. So it's you and Oliver on the road.
Hmm.
What are the most popular questions that you get? We have a list. We're gonna get there, but what are the most popular questions that you get?
How do you go to the bathroom?
I see. I was gonna ask you that question, and I was like,
How
let
do
me
you
have
go
a
to the
conversation.
bathroom?
Okay.
So when I choose where I'm going to stay overnight, um, I will be in places that will have access to a bathroom.
Okay.
And I remember there was a midnight bathroom run thing
Yeah.
question. And so I have a little like emergency toilet in there.
Okay.
So I can set it up in the middle of the night. But I'll be honest, usually it is a mason jar in the middle of the night. If it's an emergency, yes. However, that is not often. I try to. This is what you do: is when you're in van, you start to change how you live. So I'm
Right.
cutting out. I'm not drinking as much water as I would before
Okay.
bedtime, and that way that will cut down on me having to jump up and do the
Okay.
emergency.
Okay. So
Mhm.
is this a wide mouthed mason jar or using one of those
It
pea
is a wide mouth.
bubble things?
No,
Okay.
it's like a big wide mouth, so it's super easy. I
Okay.
mean,
You're
if you're
not
looking for
missing.
graphics, but huh?
You're not missing.
I'm not missing.
Okay.
Nope.
All right.
It
Okay.
is yeah.
Okay. So why you have an emergency toilet and you
Mhm.
have an emergency mason jar. Why do you prefer the mason jar to the toilet? Is it just harder to set the toilet up or what's the deal?
Yeah, so it stores behind my seat. So sometimes I just don't want to have it set up in the middle of the night. Just I don't want to sitting in the middle of the van if I'm not even
Okay.
sure if I'm going to need it or not. Um, I usually use that toilet when I'm set up like in national forest or someone like where I
Okay.
don't actually have access to anything close by. So I'll just set it up, and actually will set it up outside of the van.
Oh,
Yes, so
okay.
that way I don't have to worry about it at nighttime. If I'm trying to move around and do things in the van during the night, I'll
Okay.
put it outside. So it will be. I have a little um, like divider. I make a little bathroom outside.
Okay, so you're not like sitting down and waving at your neighbors.
No.
Okay. All right. So
None
you
of
have,
that.
so when you get set up, we're going on like 1,000 different paths on this video, y'all. I can already tell. When you are in the national forests, right? You're parked. You have your van set up. Oh, wait, I hear an echo. You have your van set up, but you also have outside space that you create for ambiance, is what I'm gonna call it.
Yes, yes. So I set up, so I'll actually do I have a shower curtain set up I have so I can do showers
Ooh,
with my little portable spray shower.
okay.
I'll have my little bathroom set up. I actually have a screen house gazebo kind of like tent thing. I'll set that up as like another separate little living area with little lights and things on it. And then in the back of my van, I have a table that I'll lift up that I can put my cooking stove out there. So then I'll have a place to cook. So I really set it up as, my area. And then usually in the national forest, you're not going to see anyone else. It's just the campsites are so spread out, you don't have to even see your neighbors. So you just have your little area set up and do it how you want to.
Okay. And do
Mm-hmm.
you feel safe in a space like that where you don't like, do you feel safer when you see your neighbors or when you don't see your neighbors?
When I don't see my
You
neighbors,
feel
because
safer?
because they don't see that it's just one single woman out
Okay.
there. Hmm.
Okay.
So yeah, for that aspect
All
for
right.
sure.
I haven't thought about that, but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Black women, we need to be
that's
a
right.
little cautious out in the
Hmm.
woods. All right,
Hmm.
so you're showering outside, you got a potty outside. When you're in the national forest, when you are, say, driving from Houston to Iowa,
Hmm.
um, we're gonna go back to the bathroom and then we're gonna back it up to more things. But like, what is that bathroom experience like when you're like, where, or no, it's a little broader. Where are you parking overnight? Are you like in Walmart parking lots for some of it, or are you always looking for some kind of campsite?
So I don't necessarily do campsites because
Okay.
that's just not my thing. But um, do not. There's options for the Walmart parking lots and things. I have not. I do not like the Walmart parking lots. What I will usually do is because we call it stealth parking because my van is a normal size conversion van. I can park on the streets um, and find a nicer residential quiet street or maybe near a park if they allow the parking there, and I'll overnight park there. um, and then there's an app that I always look at called iOverlander, and it will tell you where all of the parking spots are that are free, and then they'll give you reviews and what it's close to. Sometimes they'll have Wi-Fi there and maybe a close by bathroom. So I will look and see what type of amenities are in that area, and that's where I'll set up.
Okay.
In an emergency, you can always do Cracker Barrels. And then also, my other option is I actually like staying in hotels as well. So I will, if I'm not just comfortable like finding a place anywhere in the middle of the wherever I am, then I will actually find a hotel and stay in a hotel.
Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been seeing you laying out by these pools. Like
Yeah,
you take breaks from your van life, right? Like you
I
take breaks
do.
to like chill and like find nice places to hang out.
I do.
Okay.
Yes. So,
All right. Okay, so I'm gonna get to some of the questions in the comments.
okay.
Um, okay, let's see. Does Oliver go outside at all?
Oliver is too much of a scaredy cat to go outside. I do have a harness for him to go if he would like to, but he'll just sit on the edge and kind of peer out. He won't really go outside.
Okay. Now, what type of van do you have?
So I have a Chevy Express van, which is just a
Hmm.
normal conversion van,
Mhm.
and we can look at some pictures of it. But it is a high top because so that I can actually stand in my van. Um,
Oh,
some of the vans that are regular conversion vans, they're low top, so you're not going to have enough clearance, and you're kind of always bending over. But I'm only 5'2", also, so I can actually walk in there. I'm looking out the window at her, but so it's just a conversion van. It's an older van. It's 2001 with one owner before that, and all she did was just camp in it with her boys. But um, yeah, so it's just a normal. You wouldn't even know there was like a bed and all this stuff in the back if you were to see it on the streets, which is helpful for the stealth parking, like I said before.
Okay. Now, when you thought about the van before the universe manifested it, right? Before the magic happened, when you thought about it, did you know the difference between like a high top and a regular?
I did not. So, but just from my research, like I'm in different Facebook groups and all that stuff
Mhm.
too. I always heard people talking about that kind of thing, when
Okay.
deciding what they needed. So that was another consideration, was the standing, being able to stand.
Okay.
But I mean, I didn't have a choice, but I was just lucky enough to
To
find
get.
that. But a lot of people, that's what they really want, is something that they can stand in.
Okay.
Hmm.
And yay for the win. Short people, finally, we
That's
get
right.
something in, right? More likely to be able to stand up in your van. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a daily routine, like a daily van life routine when you're on the road?
I don't really have a routine. I always get up. I have my little setup to make my coffee and things in the morning. And I have actually running water in the van, so I can do my little getting ready and freshening up. Um, and then I'll decide. Depends on where I am. So if I've gone somewhere to actually visit maybe a site or that thing, then I'll plan that out. But it kind of just varies on where I am and what I'm there for.
Okay. All
Mhm.
right. And then the people the ladies in the comments are like, yes, peanut butter jars, coffee cups. They are agreeing with you that in the middle of the night, you make it happen.
That's
All right. I
right.
love it. I love
Yes,
it.
yes.
Let's see. Joy is in a Honda Odyssey minivan.
Oh,
Okay,
nice.
Joy. All right.
That's what,
Um,
yeah. I like when people just take what they have and,
yes, make
make
it
it
work.
work.
I think she
Mhm.
said hers was a no build. Okay.
Mhm.
Yolanda has two questions.
Okay.
First is how safe do you feel? And
Mhm.
second is, do you have a gun?
So I feel safe. Like I think I choose places based on, knowing what's in the area. I do have protection.
Okay.
I have protection.
So we're gonna leave
That's
it there. Okay.
right.
All right. When you're showering outside, are you
Mhm.
showering in a bathing suit or not?
No. I mean, if
You're
I'm
outside, there's
in the
nobody
forest,
who can
I'm in
see
the
you, right? You're in
forest.
the forest.
Mhm.
Them
And let me
bears might be like, hey girl, but
right,
they're gonna
right,
shoot
right. They
in.
go by and they're
Right.
looking. But I'll tell you about the showering thing. I don't do that a lot. I have a Planet Fitness membership that is across the country.
Nice. Okay.
So anytime I want to take a shower, there's a Planet Fitness everywhere. So that's what I do. Is I'll go to the Planet Fitness and freshen up that. And those memberships are less than $25, and you can go across the country.
Okay.
So that's actually what I prefer.
Did you get the Planet Fitness membership for the showers, or were you already a member of the gym?
Nope, for the showers.
Okay.
Showers,
All right.
Wi-Fi, because it's a black card membership, so you get Wi-Fi discounts on drinks and things. But yeah, I can actually go and they have a little lounge. I'll go charge up my electronics if I haven't charged up,
Mhm.
and so I'll just kind of relax, freshen up, do all that, and then head out. So.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Now I'm thinking that someone I follow on IG has been road tripping from like somewhere south in the US to Canada and then back down through
Mm.
California. And she's always in Planet Fitnesses, and now it's clicking.
Yep.
She was
That,
staying in hotels too, but now
yeah.
like the Planet Fitness is clicking a little more.
Yeah.
I see it. I see it. All right. Um, One of our friends here, Rosanna, has a cat, and so she's very concerned with this cat life. She asked the first cat question versus the
Yeah.
second one. Does
Uh-huh.
Oliver stay in the hotels too, or does he stay in the vans? In the van.
He comes in the hotel with me. So when I do my hotel searches, I always look for the pet friendly.
Okay.
Um, and usually I will get a hotel. I mean, it's for a break, but then it's like if the weather is not conducive for me staying in the van overnight, for instance, in hot weather, I don't. It's the worst. I don't, and then I'm not going to leave him in there. So I'll take him where Oliver goes everywhere I go.
Okay. And Greta asked the question we just answered, which is, do you have a gym membership? A lot of people who do
Mhm.
van life use the gym for a shower.
Yeah,
Covered that. And then Joy
yeah,
in her Odyssey van, she knows.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Listen.
Oh yeah, we're
Okay.
clean. We're
So tell us,
clean.
because I feel like this is a secret culty world, right? Like
Yeah.
either you know about van life or
Yeah.
you don't. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of in between. Can you name some of the Facebook groups you joined to get more information?
Yeah. The biggest one I'm in is a solo female van life Facebook group.
Okay.
Um, I feel like that one was like the safest as far as because there's only women in there. And we are super helpful there. There's also that one that came off of that group, which was specifically for Black women. It's called Black Women Camp. And that's another group. And they actually have an app as well. So there's a Facebook group and an app. So the app is, there's forums on there and different articles and blogs. So you can get information on that. And in those groups, of course, you can ask whatever question you have. Another one I look at is Diversify Van Life.
They have a group? I know they have a page.
They have a page on IG, and they actually have an app as well, too.
They have a Facebook group, a page, and an app?
Yeah. Well, I know they have IG and then an app.
Okay.
I don't know if it's another group anywhere else.
So I'm going to write down app here. So that's Diversifying Van Life. Yeah. I didn't know they had an app.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And who else is building an app?
I'm building an app.
You're building an app?
Yeah. Can you believe it?
Wow. Tell me more.
Yes, so I am building an app specifically for Black women that are interested in van life. So in that app, and I actually wrote down, make sure I kind of covered really what's going to be in it. So I'm going to go over safety, which is number one, hygiene, social. We haven't talked about that either yet. The social piece of it. I'll have a list of all these resources. So the different apps or the groups I've joined, maybe some of the videos that I use to help build. I'll talk about how to work and have do van life as well. And then just the lifestyle in general. So that app I'm going to have that out by the 15th of November. I will actually love to share all this stuff because it's all in my head.
Okay. And if people want to get that information from you, what do they do?
So if you follow me on IG, I'm being Heather Renee on IG.
I'm going to drop a link in a second.
Okay. I will put a link in my bio so that you can get yourself added to a list to be notified when that gets live.
Okay. So I'm going to drop her link in a second, but I got to say this up first. If you go to Heather's page and you see her leather work and you want to buy some of her leather work, calm down. You got to get in line. I don't know where the line starts, but I'm in front of you. Like I'm going to tell y'all now, I've been trying to buy leather from Heather for like 2 years. So don't go there and try to ask about other stuff besides van life because there's a line starts behind me.
Just get in line.
Bags and stuff.
Listen. Just get in line.
Just get in line. Get in line. Have you ever sent a message like, is there a wait list? What do I have to do? What do I have to do? So I dropped her IG, but y'all are talking about van stuff. Y'all not jumping the line in front of me. That green, I still see that green leather because you do stories more than posts. So that green leather has been taunting me since you made that post about it.
Oh my gosh.
Months ago. Because it's my birthstone too, girl.
Oh yeah.
So yes, that's why I've been like, what are we?
Okay, so
can we bully Heather into committing
for you, Rashida, I'm getting the green. It's coming back.
Okay.
We're bringing back the green. Okay.
All right, we're bringing back the green. All right.
There's a lot of people asking about the green. So okay, we're gonna do it. Okay.
All right. So
I got you.
Okay, so you build out vans, you make leather products and vegan leather products, and you create apps. But like, how does a girl pay her bills? Like, let's talk about that. What are you doing? What's going on?
Yeah, that's how I support myself. The mobile app development is the biggest piece of the how I support myself. And so I'll have different contracts. It'll be small things, little whatever. And then actually build out, full apps for people and go through the whole development process. So I'll do that. And then when I feel like being creative, then I'll go do figure out what I want to do in the leatherwork side. And I usually will do a drop of leather, like a time to order at least once or twice a year. And it's going to be closer to the end of the year. So this is about time, about to have it, because you've seen the prototype of one that I was working on. That
I did.
Yes.
Immediately hit her up like, hey, girl.
So it's coming. It's coming too. That's how I do it. Of course, there's savings and things. I was in corporate America before, so I have a savings there. So if I have to dip in where I need to. And then I also do some type like social media management for people.
Okay.
That's just kind of a small thing too.
All
but
right.
I use any kind of skill I can and do it. Because I'm not going back to work for anybody.
No. Well, I tell people all the time that, like, so I coach. If anyone doesn't know me, hi, I'm a career break coach, which means that I help people take breaks from work. But the thing is, most times that break turns into can't do it, not going back. Like once you get that freedom, people are always worried about like, what do I do? How do I they're worried about getting a job on the back end. And I'm always like, but you're not gonna want a job. So like, why are you worried about that now when it's not what you're going to want to do? Like, you're not going to want to do that. You don't want a job. Like you have a job now because you feel like you have to have a job. But once you don't have a job, you're not going to be like, time to get a job again, right? You're going to be like, what skills do I have? Like, what can I do?
Yes.
And like, what's the least amount of work I can do to not, once you take a break and you're not working.
Mm-hmm. When I met you in Playa, people would say, well, what do you do? And I was like, I'm a lady of leisure.
I'm a lady of leisure. I'm always like, I do as little as possible.
There you go.
Okay, so speaking of doing as little as possible, for your app development, which I feel like, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but is like the work, and then there's the lever, which seems to be more of like the passion. I don't know if that's wrong, but no, that's right. About how many hours a week are you working?
Probably for both.
For both.
So leather work is more time consuming. Mm-hmm. So I would say I do leather work more as far as time wise, because it just takes a lot more time. Everything is handmade. Mm-hmm. So I would say I don't really just consider it work, but it is probably 2-3 hours a day.
Okay.
So I say about 10 hours a week. And then on the mobile side, a lot of it is strategy. So it's a lot of work on the client side. Okay. And I pull it together. And I would say that is probably 5 hours a week.
So you're working like 15 hours a week. Some of that is on a passion project. Mm-hmm. Y'all heard this, right? Okay, because the way you did it, and I like I said, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like you cut down your expenses because living out of your van is cheaper than like renting anything anywhere, right?
Right.
Cut down expenses. You go where you want to go. You live a non-conventional life, and you're working 15 hours a week to support it. Y'all, let's give it up for Heather. Because
I love it.
That sounds amazing right now. Like I know there are a lot of people who would love it and they feel like they don't have what it takes. But what it takes is typically what you already have, right? Like what you already have is what it takes. So let's get back to the questions and then that long list of questions that I have. So okay. Adelia wants to know if you will ship your bags to Mexico.
If I will. Yes. Because I got to get Rashida hers, and so you guys in the same city, might as well, pack it up together.
We can do that. All right.
Well, and then down there, I have to come to Mexico City.
You have to come. You have to come visit. Y'all all have to come visit. It's such a great time. All right. Where did you learn your leatherworking skills? Was it from school or YouTube, or where'd you get that?
So, I joined Skillshare. Mm-hmm. And they had a sandal making workshop on there. And so I started off doing sandals. And then as I went, start following different leather workers. I saw bags as well, and I'm like, oh, I like bags. So I learned from um, the Skillshare class, and then
Okay.
start doing things on YouTube again,
Okay.
and finding different leather suppliers on YouTube that will actually walk you through the different processes on how to make stuff. And so then just to start doing it, practicing makes you better.
Okay.
And then follow a lot of leather workers on IG as well for inspiration on like what kind of things people are making, and then go from there. So
That's awesome.
self taught.
Awesome. So like you said you wanted to learn how to do something, and so you took a class. And look at that.
There you go.
And now you got all the skills and all of that. Okay. Do the leather working skills that you gained help in the van build out?
Yeah, actually, so I did a fundraiser for when I was doing my van build out. Instead of just saying, "Hey, donate, help me make my van." I mean, because I didn't want donations, but I wanted to, for one, downsize the number of rolls of leather I had because I needed to put it in the van.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually did a fundraiser for the van build. That people so people could buy pieces for that. So that did help me with that whole
Okay.
process. Yeah.
Okay. Is it time to see some pictures and videos of the van?
Yeah,
Y'all
yeah,
want to see it?
sure.
Y'all want to see some of the van? Let's do some van. All right. So what do you want me to show first?
So I think the way I did it kind of progresses through. Let's see if I can pull up what I had. That was kind of just showed. It's like this is crazy that I don't really have like a completed photo of the van, except I have a video. We can show that.
Okay. All right.
But
So let me get to sharing.
okay.
And nope, no one to do. I love that you can see the leather behind you.
Oh wait, it's over here.
Right there. Okay, let's go here. And do you want me to start with 2939? That's the right order? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just running. Yep, that's it. So that was yep, when I first got the van, it was a regular conversion van.
Okay. And if you guys follow or if you go to her IG channel, she has highlights with all the stories, with all the photos. So you'll get much more info and much more visuals there than you'll get here. But right now we just go through some of the stuff. This one is a
that was just a little video.
Little video of you.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think.
Aww.
Yay.
Aww.
I was
Baby
trying
Heather
to
in her
stand up
van.
and everything. Yeah.
Okay, so it was really just a van.
It was just a regular van, yeah. With
And you have a
3
bed
rows,
there
I
now?
pulled out, and so what I did was I just started by stripping everything out. I said I'm going to start from scratch, except the front seats, of course.
Okay.
So just stripped everything out. That was fun. Just rip it all the way down to the metal, and I think you'll see that.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that's all the way down to the metal,
Okay.
and I patched up the holes.
Okay. So that's what the black and white is right there, patching up the holes.
Those are the patching up the holes.
Okay. Let's see what we got here. Oh, you just got a little. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so then you really feel like you're doing something when you get the floors done.
I mean, it looks like a completely different thing.
Right. So
okay, so you covered up the windows in the
yes.
back? Okay.
Not all of them, but all the ones on the driver's side I did, and then I left a couple on the passenger side.
Okay, so people can't be peeking into your van.
That's right. Yep, and it was for that piece.
Okay.
So yeah, I laid wood floors in there because I wanted to look nice in there.
Okay, so like, had you ever laid wood floors before?
No.
You just figured it out?
I figured it out. Those were easy, click together, and cut them to length as you need. I just learned how to do stuff.
Okay, but let's back up a second. Cut them to length as you need, but you need tools for that. So like, were you at a place where people had to, like, you were able to borrow tools, or do you just happen to have like?
Yeah, I was when I started milling. I was like, hey, anybody have a jigsaw so I can cut some things? People came through. Yeah.
All right. So you added the ceiling too.
That's
now we see.
Yep, I did the wood clad on the ceiling as well.
You fancy, y'all. This is a fancy van.
Yeah, her name's Fancy Vancy.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, okay. We see the bed, some
Yes.
storage
So
underneath. Nice.
interesting about the bed was all recycled, reclaimed materials. I found there's in my sister's neighborhood here, they're still building houses. So all the wood that I needed to build the bed was they did had scrapped out, and so I
Okay, so
found
you built this yourself
yeah.
and you learned how to build it yourself from YouTube.
hmm Yes.
Okay. Is the mattress like a regular full size mattress, or did you have to get like a special kind of?
No, so that was a king size mattress that I switched
What,
with my
girl? What?
sister. And well, and I cut it down. It's not a king now. It is queenish
Okay.
size bed in there. But it's 4 layers of the latex, a nice. I mean, it's very comfortable.
You did tell us that you were a bed snob, so
Yes,
I'm
I
not
am.
surprised, but I'm also like, you got a king size van in the back of a
It's queenish.
queenish, and it looks plush. Okay,
It,
okay, okay.
yeah.
Yes, that looks nice. Okay, so I don't understand. My brain isn't helping me figure out how you have room for the van, for the bed with the headboard and the running water and cooking and all the things you said. I ain't saying you lying, girl, but my brain cannot process all of this.
So there's a video we can go through, and it kind of walks you through. This is not the one, but
Not the
this is
one?
just
Okay.
showing the cabinets. I put in those cabinets and that.
Ooh.
But if you see at the last little frame there, so this is yeah. So we play this one. It should walk you from the front. So you're walking in the side door, and that's the cabinetry right there.
You got a whole kitchen
Um,
over here. Do
yeah.
you
So
have like
there's
a mini fridge in here?
I have a very mini fridge, and
Okay.
then I also have a big one of those Yeti coolers. Um,
Okay.
So there's the stove, the camp stove right there with
Hmm.
my cast iron, and there's the huge bed right there. Um, and then that table right there is actually there's now a sink there with the running water plumbing underneath that. So that's right when you come in that side door, that's where the sink is.
So, like in this pandemonium, you can just wash your hands inside your van with running
Yeah.
water?
Mhm.
Girl. Okay, y'all.
Yeah.
I know some of
Yeah.
y'all are gonna be jumping on this train now because it looks amazing. It
Thank you.
looks
It was
amazing.
fun.
Okay, so y'all, she lives out of her van. You got running water. You said you like to cook. You got a mini fridge.
Mhm.
You got a stove top. Like what for you? What are the drawbacks? What do you wish was different about living out of your van?
Um, I would say I mean, you can't control as much the temperature wise. Like, if you want to be, I was in Nevada during the
Mhm.
summer. Bad idea. Um, but I wanted to be there, but I couldn't stay long. I could come, but it's too hot. So
Okay.
if it was able to regulate temperature better in the van without, outfitting it to the most with heaters and all of that stuff. Um, let's see. If there were nicer places to stay overnight, if you're in a pinch, right
Okay.
now they're cracking down on van life because it got so popular.
Okay.
A lot of the different places that would, like mentioned, that app Overlander, a lot of those places now are closing because people have taken over.
Okay.
So once nice places to be able to stay are not there anymore.
Okay.
Um, but I don't know, I kind of make van life as I want it to be, not like
Mhm.
what I see other people doing and try to fit in. Like, for instance, I see a lot of van lifers going to national parks and going hiking, but that's not my thing. I wear dresses most of the time, and that's just not my thing. So I kind of make it for my lifestyle,
Right.
instead of trying to
Right.
be van life.
All right. Well, Minivan Journeys says hello from Houston. I don't know if this is someone.
Hi. Oh, hi. I don't know her, but I'd love to meet her.
Hey, y'all. This
I'd
is
love
as
to
much as I
meet
can do to
her.
connect y'all right now. So
Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
done.
yeah.
Okay,
Darn
bye. All right.
it.
Mega Van Mike is here. Okay. Abba says this is a hashtag impressive.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, it is. Your van was impressive. You did all that, girl.
That's fun. Fun.
Girl. But I don't even know. I don't even know how. I'm sure I could go to YouTube and figure it out because, like I said, I feel like if someone else can do it, I can figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know where I would start to cut down a mattress, right? Like, what's the size? And now it's queenish. I would, girl,
Yeah.
I think the thing that for me is most impressive is how much I had to learn to go from like, I don't know to like,
No idea.
I have the bed of my dream, right? Like, I have all these things that I really like in my van. So that's awesome. All right. Adelia wants to know if you do leather working in the van.
I do. Yep. So I have so my bed is actually a little higher so that I can have enough storage space underneath to store all of my leather work and the tools that go along with
Okay.
it.
All right. And Greta wants to know if you had to make adjustments during the pandemic.
No, as far as I think as far as van life goes, it didn't change much. I mean, they were starting to crack down, I would say, on a lot of the places you could stay. And there were times when some of the national parks or the national forests were closed just for COVID prevention. But for me personally, it took me until, let's see, I started building in July. I ended in March. And so I think things have kind of calmed down as far as the really lockdown things.
Okay.
So around that April time when I really got on the road, stuff had started to open up a
bit. Okay, good. I'm just gonna say these words because I don't know what they mean.
Okay.
But Elle wants to know if you will or can add a max air fan.
I can. I will probably not. Okay. I can though. I have because a lot of times people what she's asking is for is there's some vent. You can cut a hole in the top of your van and put a fan there so that you can increase your airflow. And I decided not to do that because I just have a different way to set up my fans and things like that. But there is space on the top of my van in order to do that if I want to do it in the future, because I don't have my solar panels mounted. A lot of people will mount their solar on top of their van. I know I went into something else. But I have a flexible solar panel that I can hang wherever I need it to go.
Okay. So I thought when you said you were charging your equipment, you were just like plugging things into the lighter, like we used to do, but you actually have solar panels?
So yes. So I actually, what I'll do in the gym is I have a solar generator, and the solar panel adds power to the solar generator. So I'll put that panel out, and it keeps the generator piece charged up. So I'll roll the solar generator in the gym with me, and you plug that up, and then you can run it off of that. So because you can charge those things with either the plug in the wall, like you regularly do, you can do it with the solar panel, or you can actually plug it into your cigarette lighter in your van while you're driving. So you'll generate energy at that same time as you're driving.
Mm-hmm. So you're walking into Planet Fitness, rolling the solar generator, and we're just like, hey, girl. Like they don't ask any. Mm-mm. They know what you're doing, right? Like they understand what this is.
Right.
Okay.
So especially in Planet Fitness, I think when you go in, the black card little area is like right to the left or whatever after you check in. So you can just go do that, set it up. It's 55 pounds, so you're not dragging it all over, but you can set it up there, go do your shower.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Amazing. All right. I want to get to the questions from the live. And one of them was here and I missed it, but one of the questions was, how are you managing gas prices? But there was also a question about like your overall cost. So we're going to do both. How are you managing gas? Please create. I saw someone do a receipt the other day from California that was like $5 and something for gas in the Bay Area. And I'm like, but what do shoes cost? Because I can walk, right? Like, what's happening here? So what are you doing to manage gas prices?
I kind of have to take it as it is. Really, when I'm driving, I don't even consider those because I just kind of choose based on where I want to go. and pay those prices. And I was in California most of the summer, so yeah, it was a lot more expensive. One way I do manage that is though not driving all the time, not always going somewhere. So when I get
Okay.
to a place, I will stay there for a while. I won't be continuously moving around.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Um, and overall, like in a regular month when you are living your lifestyle, right?
Mhm.
What are your van related expenses? Like what, like sum up maybe gas, maybe any maintenance.
Yep. It is gas, maintenance, food. Um, I would say that would be the biggest one after that, just eating. I do keep foods that are don't have to be refrigerated. So different grains and fruits and things and vegetables. Um, but then because I have the extra income from not paying rent and that kind of thing, I do treat myself to nice restaurants and things like that, so I can wear my
Okay.
fancy dresses.
Listen, you sound like I haven't heard if this feel fancy vancy applies to you too, because I haven't heard anybody else
That's
living
where
with
it came from.
this.
My sister always says, "You're so fancy. Why do you have to do? Why do you have to do so fancy?" And I'm like, "I'm fancy.
It's just what it is. I'm fancy. All right. So I'm dropping her IG again. You can follow Heather for more info. If you're new to, like, I think everything I know about van life, I know about from Heather. Like, I follow a couple accounts like Diversify Van Life, but like, I actually saw Heather in the build out. And so you can go to her stories and see it there. And it's a lot of info. Okay. Adelia asks, did we finish the internet conversation? We were supposed to talk about Wi-Fi, right? We didn't really get there at all.
We didn't get there.
No.
I have a little hotspot. It's by Skyroam. I think they just recently changed their name to Solis, and it's actually
Yes.
global too.
Yes.
But there are some places where it will not work either because
Yeah.
it's just like, for instance, the national forest. A lot of those national parks Wi-Fi is just not anywhere.
Okay.
So,
And
but
the thing about Skyroam, for anyone who's curious, I'm going to drop a link for that, for Skyroam. But the thing about Skyroam is it works by like, this is my non-science answer, but it works by like turning cell phone tower service into Wi-Fi, like it transitions it somehow to Wi-Fi. So if there are no if you don't get cell service, you're not going to get Skyroam service.
right.
If you go into a national park and you don't have cell service, you're not doing nothing on your Wi-Fi either. So I'm going to drop the Skyroam link if you're interested. Boom, boom. Okay. Let's see. Is van life full-time for you? Would you describe yourself as a full-time van lifer?
I would not. I'm in and out of Houston all the time. I think it is my way of traveling now. But
Okay.
and it's not full time. I would say it's 3/4 time.
So it's more like your means of your regular means of transportation to get anywhere you want to go in the country, but you're not a full-time living in the van.
Right.
Okay. And someone asked if you've left the country in your van.
I haven't. I did want to do the Baja Peninsula down in Mexico. I have not done that. People are organizing a caravan to go down there, so I would like to do it in that kind of setting. But I did research on how to do it, but I just haven't done it yet.
Okay. So there are a whole bunch of new people in the comments today. And Joy, oh, wait, what happened? Wait. Okay. Joy brought them over. Joy brought them over from, I don't know where. There's a whole bunch of van life people in the comments.
Yes.
I'm like, y'all, this is not what I do here. We are talking about van life specifically. I wanted to get the experience of Black women talking about van life, but I don't really talk about van life here. So if this is what you came for, y'all gonna be real disappointed because we're gonna talk about something completely different next week. But we're talking van life today because it's like people are curious. All right, I have 2 pages. It's hard to.
Oh my goodness.
2
Okay,
pages
let's do it.
All right. We covered overnight sleeping areas. Wi-Fi we talked about. Build out process we talked about. So you're intentionally unemployed. Like you do not have an employer. You do like contract work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had a hard time explaining your address? Well, you live in Houston, right? You've never had to
Yeah.
like have you ever had to explain to someone like, well, I might not be available because I'm in a national forest and we don't have Wi-Fi there? Have you had to have those conversations?
No, and I will the way I work with clients. Sometimes there's periods of time where I won't have to talk to them anyway. So that's
Okay.
when I will plan those things. But when I do have, sometimes I won't get hotels for client meetings just so I can do that kind of thing too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. How do you shower is a question. How do you keep food fresh? We've covered those. I like that. This one literally just says campsites and Black people. So go. Campsites and Black people.
Can't
I don't
find
know
some
what
black people.
I don't know what the question was, but that's what I wrote down.
Well, there are some black groups that have, I mentioned some of those Facebook groups where they actually will plan gatherings so that there will be black people, because
Mhm.
you don't see a lot of people when you're usually just out in the wild camping and van lifing. But those groups will plan those gatherings and then also recommend places to stay too.
Okay.
So that's the way you can network. I think there's some really large gatherings, and then there's small local ones, like in certain areas. They'll get together.
And I'm trying to find it now, but I think this is Joy recommended. The official group is Black RVers on Facebook. You can live in any type of vehicle. And Warthen
Oh,
RV Park is Black owned for most fans. You're familiar with Warthen RV
yeah.
Park? Okay. All right. So there are resources. There are
Hmm.
resources. Okay. The next, I was writing down questions as people were live. So I was clicking through it because those live comments go away. You don't get access to them
Oh,
anymore.
hmm.
Laundry is the next is laundry. So
Oh, yeah. Y'all,
what is
there's some
laundry?
cute laundromats out there.
Okay.
Now, I'm a minimalist, so I do have not a whole bunch of clothes. But I go and sometimes that's part of the fun of exploring the town is go to the laundromat and talk to the people. I've met so many different interesting people in the laundromat just doing my laundry during the day. It made connections that I still have and that kind of thing. So yeah, for
Okay.
one, try to downsize your clothes if you can, so you don't have to wash all the time. But then go to those laundromats.
Okay. So laundromats, and you're making
Mhm.
friends in the laundromats.
That's right. Yeah,
Okay.
it's
All
fun.
right. Um, Parking overnight. It looks like packing overing, but I think that's parking overnight. Uh, and you don't have you talk about plans to cross border.
Mm.
Did you debate between a van and an RV?
I did not. I liked the van idea because it's you can park more places. You
Okay.
have a lot more freedom. Usually, when you're in an RV, you're going to have to be at the campsites just because it's a larger vehicle. And if you see a lot of the parking street signs, they'll say you can park here overnight, but only if you're not over 7 feet tall or a certain length. And so that restricts it if you have an RV. But I like the stealthness of the van, and
Okay.
also I can just drive it around. Like I can go around and do errands in the van and not feel like I'm lugging my RV along with me.
All right.
So
Is does driving the van long distance? 'Cause I know it's not the same, but like I'm thinking of like the big things I've driven, like a
mhm.
U-Haul truck, where like that
Sure.
shit is exhausting after like a little
Mhm.
while. Is driving the van more like a car or more like it takes a lot of effort out of you to
I
drive?
would say it's more like a car, mine,
Okay.
excuse me, mine, because it was a conversion van and it was built to be like a comfort luxury kind of thing. So the
Okay.
seats in the front are like bouncing along and they're
Okay.
nice and plush and having so it's super. I mean it's kind of relaxing actually. It feels safer because you're like this huge old thing going down the road, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, it's super relaxing even for my long hauls. It's
All right. In Houston right now, what does
Mhm.
it cost to fill up your van?
I think around 50, 60.
Okay.
Fill it up maybe.
All right. And
I
how long?
hardly do because I don't really drive a lot in Houston.
Okay.
Driving in Houston.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, when I do, it's pretty cheap. I mean, not
Okay.
cheap compared to I was in California all summer. So,
Okay. Good. And follow-up question. I forgot it. I should have written it down. All right. You have a home base. It's in Houston. There was a movie called Nomadland. Have you watched it?
I have not watched it yet. I heard a lot of different reviews on it, but I have not watched it.
Okay. The question was, is it realistic? But who
Oh,
knows, right?
so in the discussions, I've heard that it's realistic for a certain type of person. So
Okay.
yeah,
And that person is not you.
not me.
Okay.
It is different. There are that those are real people in the movie too. I know those people, but um it's just not my lifestyle.
Right.
It's one of them.
Okay. One of the questions was, and I think this goes back to the question I forgot. What are the things that you, when building out? So we talked about your gas expenses, but like when building out, what were the biggest expenses during your build out?
The biggest expense I would say was the actual electrical piece of it,
Okay.
the solar generator and the battery, or excuse me, and the solar panel are expensive. They're expensive. They're the biggest expense. Lumber prices were skyrocketing because everyone was building at the same time. Luckily, like I said, I reclaimed a lot of my materials, so that helped out. But I would say that there's Restore, the Habitat for Humanity Restore.
Mhm.
I use them a lot for my wood flooring, for different little fixtures and things. So when you're creating it yourself instead of just buying it, it's much cheaper.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
All
Like
right.
I built my faucet, like I made a faucet out of copper pipe instead of buying a faucet.
You know, on the table, I saw a copper
Yeah.
that was okay in the video. You made your faucet and it works and there's no like leaky nonsense.
No, just doing good.
Y'all, y'all, this is blowing my mind. All right. One of the most expensive things was the generator and the panel, the solar panel. But do you need, would you have as comfortable, not as comfortable, could you have a similar experience without those two things?
I think so. I think that what it would cut down on is my ability to work.
Okay.
So that for my for my experience, I would need that just so I can work on the road. But there are several people that do not have those large,
Okay.
expensive, and can still power things.
So if you weren't a app developer and you didn't be on your computer
Right.
for 5 hours a week, you could go without it.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Asia wants to know if you have a YouTube channel, but you don't yet.
Yet.
But you will.
I will. So yeah, if you follow me on IG, then I will put the links for both how to get the app that I'm building and then the YouTube channel, because I just need to get that going.
You need to get it going. Yes, girl.
Mhm.
Okay. Midnight bathroom. We covered that.
Yeah.
Did van prices increase like RVs did?
Mm-hmm. They did.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It was super tough for people to find vans. Like I just lucked out, but just looking for vans.
Listen, Miss Fancy said, I would like a van. And the van was like, hey, girl, I'm here waiting for
I'm
you.
right here. What you need? You want me? What you need me for? I'm right here.
Like, and it looks like it's the perfect van for you. This is amazing. All right. Bum, 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 bum. How do you decide on your next stop?
So I got a really good Christmas gift. It was an atlas, paper atlas map of the whole state, of all the states. And I just opened that thing up and kind of just plan that way. And then I see what's along the way. So I knew for the summer I wanted to get out of the Houston heat. So that's why I headed towards the West Coast. And so I just looked which route I wanted to go and did research along the route on different stops that I was interested in. I try to not drive more than 4 or 5 hours a day if I'm going anywhere. So even if I need to get somewhere that's 8 hours, I stop it halfway in between, and that's where I'll find where to stay overnight. Um, but yeah, I just kind of plan out by using the map and seeing what's there.
Okay. Speaking of
Yeah.
Houston heat, that sun is on you. I can tell. It was like y'all been
It
talking
keeps
for a
moving.
while.
Yeah, it just
Hello.
moved higher in the sky here.
Okay. So I think we got through all the questions because we'd answered a bunch of them before we got to questions. So if you have more
Mhm.
questions, throw them in the comments now and we'll talk about them. But I also want to talk about like the unexpected things that have come up for you along the way. So what are the things that you're like I've been watching these videos and I kind of knew this, I might experience this, but I wasn't maybe not experiencing it in the way that I am, or something that
Mhm.
you just were like, oh, I didn't see this coming. What are those things for you?
Well, I would say during the build, um, things do not go together the way that they you would think they would, and so you're figuring out along the way. No build that you see is going to match your build.
Okay.
Even if you do it exactly, it's going to be something so you always have to figure out for your specific van or whatever build you're doing. Um, as far as the lifestyle goes, I did. So I am an introvert, so I like to be by myself. But it is a you don't see as many opportunities to have social connections while you're on the road. Like I'm fine with that, but I know that sometimes you're like, hey, I just want to grab coffee with somebody, or I've been on the road for weeks. I just need somebody to hang out with real quick, or to have someone that you can ask about a specific area that you're going to.
Okay.
Just trying to understand that. I'm trying to think if there's anything that really surprised me. I think because I didn't have expectations, that helps. You don't have expectations, you have to kind of figure it out as you go and make adjustments that way and just kind of be open to things. So if I don't have an expectation of how things are going to be, I can't really be disappointed.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Okay. So we talked in the beginning, you said you want to talk about the social aspects. Let's talk about that. What is like, I love an introvert. Love an introvert. Life is simple. Okay.
Yeah.
But like, even introverts feel like every once in a while we need a little bit of company.
Mhm.
So, what are you doing in those moments when you're like, it would be nice to talk to somebody else who I like, right? Like, what are you doing?
So I'm just connecting on social media to people and
Okay.
reaching out to friends and people on the road. People are, and since you're doing something different, people are always wanting to talk to you because they want to ask you questions about how things are going. So that's what I do. I mean, I don't need a lot of that myself, but I know that a lot of people, when I look in these fan life groups, that is their biggest concern is being lonely out on the road. So um, joining those groups and being able to have a place to kind of make connections within there is helpful. Um, I know a lot of people do the Bumble best friend kind of thing as well
Okay.
as they're traveling, just so, hey, let's, grab a bite to eat or something. And so it's not necessarily a dating situation, but it is a way to connect with people.
Okay. I hadn't thought about that,
Mhm.
but that would
Yeah.
be a good way to connect around the
Hmm.
world.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me add that to the arsenal.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. There was a question that came in. Oh, Minivan Journeys wants to know if you know of any great stealth camping spots in or around downtown Houston. I know you
Downtown
don't camp.
Houston?
Yeah, downtown. I know you don't camp in Houston, but do you know of
No,
anything?
no, no. But I don't know of any. Does she have IO Overlander? I would check IO Overlander, the app, and they will have, if there are any down there. But
Okay,
I
but you
don't know
don't know. Okay,
personally.
all
I
right.
don't.
Because you camping at your sister's house.
That's right. I'm camping right here on the street.
All right. Um, Michelle wants. Oh, wait, not what I wanted to know. This is what I want to know. All right. Is your family okay with you on the road? My sons are giving me pushback. They're afraid for my
Mm.
safety. How did you overcome family concerns?
I mean, my family has been like, Heather's gonna do what Heather's gonna do. They're probably some of them are watching now, like, yeah, um, even like moving out of the country and all that. I mean, I do it, but just checking in with them. Actually I will turn on my location on Google for certain family members so they know exactly where I am. And then even if I'm moving, I'll say, hey, I'm tired of this place. I'm heading out, so they know I'm going to be moving on the road.
Okay.
So that's one way I keep them up to date. They know that I have things to protect myself within the van. Oh, I didn't mention also security. I have small little cameras that I can mount on the outside of my van. So that way it will alert me if someone's coming around. So I will have a heads up, that there's
Okay.
something happening. So
Smart. As I tell you, I feel like the van life people have a whole like it is a lifestyle, and either like the things you need to know, or
mhm.
you like I'm like vans on the camera.
Mhm.
Smart, but I'm sure like it's very common, right? People have
Yeah,
some kind of security system
some
like
kind of,
that.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. All right. So vans on the camera, something inside the van to help you feel safe. You're giving
yeah.
people your location.
Mhm.
With all of those, have there been moments where you still felt unsafe?
Um, there have been moments where I wouldn't say unsafe. I would just say just a little more alert when, but it's usually when I'm like if I set up in a park and I'm just kind of relaxing and people can see that it's an actual van, they want to come up to you and either look in there and see what's going on, or um, and they're not necessarily the most savory people sometimes. So,
Okay.
but I've learned just to the energy that I give out is going to kind of dictate how that interaction goes. So
Okay.
I will act, very welcoming, right? They won't go in the van, of course, but I'll have a conversation with them, and then usually they'll move along. But um, I haven't really had. I'm very very particular in where I stay and where I go, in making sure that I'm not in areas that I may not, you know, have
Okay.
those kind of interactions.
Okay. So these unsavory people are
Yeah.
trying to get up in your van.
They're trying to again see what's going on. Yeah. See what's, oh, you have a bed? Yeah. So, right.
Okay. But yeah, we don't,
No,
no
not yet.
strangers inside of it. No.
Mm-mm. And
All right.
then, I mentioned my husband's on the way back. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
just sitting here waiting on, you just throw something out there when you're having your conversation.
Okay. Speaking of husbands and speaking of people inside the van, stop watching dad.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Maybe sister too. I don't know. If you don't want to hear what's coming, you know what's coming. If you don't want to hear it, you gotta stop watching right now. All
No.
right. We talked about you being an introvert and not
Mhm.
really meeting people, but has this nomadic lifestyle, how has it impacted your dating life?
So I am not interested in dating
Okay.
right now. So that's what's I haven't even been thinking about that. I'm actually recently separated, so I'm like free and all about Heather right now. But a lot of ladies that I know that are in the lifestyle as well, they're using the Tinder apps and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Um, but for me, I'm doing me right now, and so I haven't had that. I
Okay.
haven't had that
Okay.
concern at all. Yeah.
So no one else has experienced the
No one
queen-ish
else has
size
been on
bed.
the queenish side.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I would
And
want to know what it would be like to like bring someone back to the van, right?
mm,
Like,
right, and it's funny, a lot of women will say that, when they meet a guy, that's what they always want to come to the van, and then also the van does not stay still. So, they're thinking about, oh, are people gonna know? Yeah, they're gonna know there's something happening in the van
okay.
from the outside.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Hmm.
So yes, Rosanna asked, is Sheeta asking if the van is rocking? Well,
That's right.
now we know
Yes, the
if
van
the
would
van is
rough.
rocking, what's happening. But Heather does not know from
I do
firsthand
not know
experience.
personally.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So I'm in the same space as you, where like I go on dating apps and I'm like, oh Lord, like that's somebody else's ministry. That's not mine. And I'd love to know for women our age,
Mhm.
like how do we what is missing or what are we like? What is the key to getting us back interested in like dating? I don't have an answer, right? Like I do not know. But like, what is the thing that would be like, yes, I'm back on the apps and I am actively looking for something, right? I just
maybe and maybe it's the apps are what turn you off from wanting to do it.
yeah.
Right? Like when you go on there, like, oh, never mind. No, I
Yeah.
don't want
And maybe it
to.
has to be in person. And since we're
Yeah.
talking in person now, I'm snitching. Everybody, it's not on Heather.
None of
I ain't got nothing to snitch on Heather about. But yesterday, Adelia, Miss Picky Girl Travels, met her future husband. She not claiming him as her future husband, but I saw it. I wish I'd gotten a photo of it. He sent her wine. He came over, talked to her, ignored the rest of us because he was focused, right?
Yeah.
I said, oh, okay, well. She said she wants a man to bring her tacos, and this is a man who's bringing her wine and like brought her a glass. And I didn't send it over with the waiter, brought it to her. I said, oh, well, this man who brings you wine will bring you tacos. So I'm snitching, y'all. Check in with Adelia. Find out how that husband, she didn't want a husband. I say that. She does not want a husband. But find out how her new taco delivery system is working because she has her future man. She was trying to avoid him the whole time. She was like, but it's very like, I don't know many women right now who are single and want to be unsingle, right? People who are together in relationships are like, yes, this is great. But people who are, like Black women, late 30s, mid 40s, and beyond are like, I guess it's just going to be me for a while. And so it would be nice to know if there was a lifestyle that was more conducive to it. And it doesn't sound like van life.
No.
It could be if you want, like, it's, I think there are enough meetups and stuff that, like, if you were looking for someone, you could find someone. But no.
Yeah.
I'm out here in Mexico, like, no.
Not gonna work.
No. Okay. So Asia said, what's her channel? I think she's talking about Picky Girl Travels the World. I think you're asking about Adelia's channel, which is Picky Girl Travels the World, because Heather does not have a channel yet, but she will soon. Heather Renee, I don't know what we're going to call it, but it's coming up. All right. So we're not dating. We're being safe. We talked about safety precautions. We're making money and we're not working hard. Going where you want to go. What else? What else should we talk about? What do y'all want to know about? Let me hit these questions again. Let's see. Angela Rochelle says dating pool has pee in it. Yes, it does. Asia Aaron says we can't do the apps anymore. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Rosanna says hang out at Home Depot, but Rosanna's been married for like 47 years. So, you know.
Maybe that's where she found her 47-year.
You have been to Home Depot recently. Was your future partner there?
No.
Gordon says the apps are horrible. Catfishing is real. Let's see. All right. Angela Joy says, Heather, when I am on long road trips by myself, I wear a wedding ring for added security. Makes people think I'm not alone and back off. It truly works.
That's a good
idea. Us helping each other.
I love it. Yes. Okay. I love it. Get me a ring.
Asia wants to know how much you paid for your van, if you're comfortable saying that.
No, that's fine. I actually got a great deal on my van. It was less than $3,000. It's $2,900. And though you cannot get a van for that much these days, unfortunately.
But you found someone who'd been trying to sell a van for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
And had no idea what van life was and all of that stuff.
Okay.
So it's helpful to find someone if they're selling the van to not know that there's this lifestyle where people are really trying to get these vans.
Okay. All
Look
right.
for small towns. Small
all right.
towns, they don't want to know.
Small towns.
Small towns.
Rosanna says she thought the channel was going to be named Fancy Vancy, and I kind of feel like maybe like Heather Renee and Fancy Vancy. We need to work these in to get
I need
Fancy
to write
Vancy
it
by
down.
Heather Renee. Something we need to. Yes.
Okay. We're gonna have to write
Fancy
this down.
Vancy. Y'all don't steal this name. That's Heather's name. Don't. All right. And how much was your total build out?
I would estimate it to be about, including the solar, 3,500.
That's not. I thought you were gonna say like 30,000, right?
Oh no, I'm telling you, like, but I reclaim and also building things myself, such as faucets.
Okay. All right. So, you 2,900 and 3,500. I can do the math. That's like 6,400. 6,400.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you don't have a home payment. Like you don't have you're not paying rent anywhere. All you pay for is gas,
food, mm-hmm.
Planet Fitness,
and
hotels when you feel like
right,
getting
mm-hmm.
a little
fancy.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And you have a conversion van.
Yes.
Because Hey Baby asked about that. Let's see. I Am Goddess, you got to get we had toilet talk in the beginning. You got to get to the beginning and talk about toilet talk. She has a temp toilet and other strategies. You got to get to. We're not doing toilets again. One time
we got that out of the way.
All right. All right. I feel like we've covered it. What haven't we covered, Heather?
I can give a couple of some more stuff about overnight parking memberships. So Harvest Hosts is another membership. You can get about $85 a year, and you can stay overnight at wineries, different places in town, farms, and so for free. So it's included within your membership, which is about $85 for the year. You can park those places. They're all across the country. A lot of them, of course, on the West Coast for like wineries and all that stuff, but they're everywhere. Very safe. The people are super nice. And only thing you're required, they ask you to do is to kind of support. Like, so if they're selling honey or something like that, or buy a bottle of wine when you're there.
Listen, that sounds nice.
Mm-hmm. What was another one? Oh, and then freecampsites.net.
Okay.
That's another one. So just to, it takes some effort sometimes to find a spot, but it's possible.
I like, okay, so Rosanna just said Harvest Host seems like a good deal. It sounds like a great idea.
It's great, yeah.
Yeah.
They do ask you to be self-contained, so I mean they don't have.
You can't plug into them.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But just go and stay overnight. Yeah.
Great question from I Am Goddess TV. Do you have your major stuff in storage somewhere, or have you sold everything? You're a minimalist, so let's see what the answer is.
I'm a minimalist. Yep. I have downsized so I can fit everything in my van that I need.
Everything you own is in your van.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I moved out of the country, I sold everything, so that gave me a good starting point. But yeah, just prescribing to that whole minimalist idea.
Does that make you a little bit more safety conscious? Like if someone stole your van, they'd run off with all your stuff, including Oliver. Yeah. Do you worry about that kind of thing, or you're like, whatever happens, happens?
Yeah, I don't worry about it too much. But that is, that's a possibility for sure. A lot of people do have that concern.
Okay. All right. Rosanna would like to see more of Oliver. So if he's around,
Oliver is right behind me, of course.
This is really a request. Was more of Oliver.
Oliver's mad. I clipped his nails today.
Oh, Oliver. Hi.
Yeah,
You're the
he's really
star. He's not willing to be the
not
star.
doing it. Okay, look.
It's a,
Say hi to the people.
there's a
Say hi to
request.
the people. There
There
you
you
go.
go. We had a
Yeah.
request for you.
Hmm.
Yes. He's
Huh?
like, all this sun, all this light, all these people.
I know.
It's
He's like,
not.
I'll lay in the sun, but I don't want to look directly in it. Come on.
Mm-mm. All right.
Why?
Nina, coming in late. Have you stayed anywhere long term? What is the longest time you stayed somewhere? We'll catch a replay. We haven't talked about that. What is the longest time you stayed anywhere?
I would say I stay in week. I haven't stayed any longer than that. I usually get bored and want to see the next place.
Okay.
But there's some really nice coastal towns in California that were super laid back. So it was easy to find a place to park that was right like on the water and all that. So it's kind of like why leave?
Okay.
Um, so that was probably the longest.
All right. All right. Is Oliver's hair a problem in the van? Because I saw in the light his.
Right. No. So we
No.
have the whole the little vacuum and all that in there
You
to
have a
keep it.
vacuum in your van?
I mean, a little hand vac,
I
yeah.
don't have a handbag in my apartment, girl.
Well, that's the way I got to clean it. That's all I got. I got little hand broom and the
Okay.
hand vac as
Okay.
well. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oliver's
All
hair.
right. Let's see. Ba, 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 ba.
And one thing about the cat, if anybody's interested, so I have the litter box because I was like, oh,
Yes.
smells, and it's a small space. But if you use pine pellets for the litter instead of the regular traditional cat litter, there is no smell. I mean,
Really?
out the solid waste, and then the urine is absorbed by the pine, and it kind of smells like pine in there. So
Okay.
yeah.
Are they expensive to buy or hard to get?
Nope. So you can go to Tractor Supply, like everybody goes there, but go to Tractor Supply. You can get a 40-pound bag of those pine pellets for $5, and
Okay.
it lasts me at least 3 months for that $5 bag of cat litter. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Folks in the comments are telling you that yes, Baja road trip, you need to do it.
I do.
Let's see. And Abba asked if you're in the van now. You're at your sister's. So when you're at your home base,
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming you're using your van to get around Houston when you have to drive, which
Mm-hmm.
probably isn't a lot, right?
Right.
But are you doing anything else in the van? Like, have you moved all of the stuff from the van to inside the house? Like, is it still your leather working space? What are you using the van for now besides transportation?
No, sometimes I'll sleep out there,
Okay.
just to have a little different scenery. But I'm always working on the van. Every time I have it here, I'm like, okay, what else do I want to update? Because when you're on the road, you'll figure out all of the different things that you'd like to have.
Mm-hmm.
Like my biggest thing I learned on my last long road trip this summer was that I needed to be more organized, have more places to put things so that I'm not stepping over and pulling out stuff and then having to put it all back and all that. So I'm working on organization things right now. I also learned that heat will is not conducive to my van at all. So I was trying to do different things as far as the insulation that I have in there
Okay.
to help it be cooler, and have changed ceiling materials and things like that. So anytime I'm parked up, it's usually something happened. I was in there yesterday. I'll be in there again today. So the van is the doors are always flung open. Everybody in the neighborhood is always like, oh, she's working on a van again. What you got going on now?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I Am Goddess says, when you stop, do you always get vehicle inspections?
When I stop?
Yeah.
Well, for Texas, we have to get vehicle inspections every year.
Okay.
But I mean, that's what I do. And the normal maintenance, of course. Actually ended up having to get new brakes on the road this last trip too. So.
Okay. And someone asked about your mailing address. I'm going to assume it's your sister's because that's your home base. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you picked a relative who you like enough and who likes you enough, right?
Yeah.
To let you come and hang out for, typically when you're there, how long are you there for? Are you there for like a week or like a month?
I would say month.
Okay.
Month or two.
So you come hang out with her for a month.
Mm-hmm.
And you have nephews?
I have a nephew.
You have
Yep.
a nephew?
He's here
Okay,
too.
so they
So
can like see Auntie Heather and then she watch her
yeah,
get back on the road. I like that. Okay.
yeah.
And then someone asked, I think it was I am Goddess again, asked about your inspiration. And we talked a little bit about how you got into it, but what did inspire you to do this?
I really, so freedom is my word. Just being able to do things on my own terms and not have a lot of different things that are holding me down for that. So being able to just hop in the car and go somewhere new and actually, do my own thing is really what inspires me
All right.
there.
I love it. Okay, y'all. We've answered all the questions that came on Thursday.
Mhm.
We've talked about a lot of stuff. If there's anything else we think we haven't covered, and you've been here from the beginning, because we covered some stuff in the beginning that we're not gonna cover again. Like toilets
More
and
toilet.
showers. Drop it in the comments though. And Heather, is there anything else you can think of that we need to talk about?
I don't think so. I think we covered a lot.
We did.
I can say some other Black female van lifers that you can
Yes.
follow.
Yes. Love
Yes.
it.
So on YouTube, we have Antoinette Yvonne, and she
Okay.
talks about luxury living in a van. So
Mm.
she's fancy too.
All right.
But Antoinette Yvonne, she's great. Hey Jasmine is another young lady. She converted her van herself. So Antoinette did have someone else build hers for her. Hey Jasmine actually converted for herself, and she also talks about tech things. So if you're looking for ways to make money on the road, she talks about she has a tech background and that she uses to make money while she's traveling.
Okay.
Candace Love, and that's Candyss Love.
Love. Yeah.
She's really good.
Does she have a YouTube channel?
She has a YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
She
I only
has,
know her
she
from
has the
IG.
IG and
Yeah.
the YouTube channel as well. She hasn't been posting on the YouTube, but she's starting to travel again now. So she's going to have more videos coming
Okay.
up. So she's super inspirational about just doing what you love.
Okay.
There's a young lady named Brittany. Her channel on YouTube is Where's Brittany? She converted a school bus. So she has a huge school bus.
Okay.
She was solo, and now she's her husband has joined her, and she has 2 dogs. So
Did you say her cousin or her husband?
her husband. So she was by herself, but now, right. We're like, okay, yeah, right.
I thought I heard cousin, and I was like, "Ooh, tell me more." When you said husband, and I was like, "Oh,
right."
Okay.
And then Vanna Mae, she also has she has an RV. She has a 19-foot RV. So just some other Black ladies doing it.
Okay. And if you are a van lifer watching now, drop it in the comments so we know. I know Joy Route, who I think your name is Frankie. I think I picked that up from the comments. There's a lot going on in the comments, but I think I picked that up. Joy Route is a YouTuber, I'm guessing, who also lives in her van. If anybody else is in here and lives in their van and has helpful stuff either on YouTube or IG, you can't drop the link, but just identify yourself and we'll find you. So someone asked about how you stay warm in your van. You haven't been through a winter in that van yet, right?
I have not, and I try to stay in the milder climates.
Okay.
So I do. So actually, I'm leaving tomorrow for another trip, and I'm going to Iowa. So I will need to understand how to stay warm in there. Now, I do have a blanket that I will, a heated blanket that will be on the bottom, and then I have a really thick down comforter in there.
All right. This is exciting.
Yes, it's fun.
All right. Whereas Tiffany has a great YouTube channel, I'm hearing. Abia Bina is a van lifer, and Abia was here earlier. I told you the van life people were in here talking to each other, and I was like, I don't know this link. I don't know what y'all talking about.
I'm gonna have to
check out each other. I love it.
I want to check out the chat when we finish.
All right. All right. So the channels you mentioned again were Candace Love. Where is Brittany? And
Antoinette Yvonne.
Antoinette Yvonne.
And Hey Jasmine.
Hey Jasmine.
And Vanna Mae.
Vanna Mae. We're adding in Abia Bina. and Joy Route. And where's Tiffany? Are the other ones that came in the comments. So y'all have a lot of inspiration out there. Maybe we'll talk van life again in the future. I said I wasn't going to do this again, but maybe we'll get somebody else to come in and talk about their van life, because y'all, one of the things I love about the people who watch this channel is that when they want to know something, they're like, tell me everything, right? Everything. And so y'all go out there, get your inspiration from these people. We might talk about this again in the future. We might not. Minivan Journeys, who was here, who was in Houston, is a part-time minivan lifer. So yes, we want to hear more. Y'all get some inspiration, follow these people. I can't tell you anything about living in a van. So if you show up these comments asking questions, know that I will not be answering them, because I don't know anything about this. I don't. So yes, coming soon. Shelly. Fancy.
Okay, yes. Let's call it. We're going to get it up.
You need to, the minute this is over, you need to be on YouTube locking that down.
I'm doing it. Yes.
Locking it down. All right. I think we did it. Thank you so much.
Of course. Fun.
Black Diamond says, I don't like the way they phrase this question, or phrase these comments. No, we're not even going to do that at all. Thanks, Black Diamond. It was when you get tired of van life. And I'm like, why would you start the comment like that? Like, what? Sis is living her best life now.
Doing it.
You don't have to, let's not talk about what happens when you're tired of something that you're really enjoying. Yinks says, what about Janelle? Yinks, who's Janelle? If you know the name of their channel, Yinka, drop that in, because I don't know Janelle.
Janelle. I know exactly what you're talking about. She blew up on YouTube as far as van life. I don't think she's.
Anyone know her name?
I do. What is her last name?
The black girl with the snake. Y'all, yep. If that's, we need a channel name. Phoenix Rising. Okay, so Joy.
Oh yeah, Phoenix Rising. Yes.
Frankie came through, and I'm guessing Phoenix Rising is Janelle. Yes, we're putting those two together.
No,
channels. Those are two different channels.
People. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So it's Janelle Eliana is the young lady.
Janelle Eliana. Okay. And Phoenix Rising, who is here, says Vibrant Peace is a car lifer and has great content.
Oh, yes.
Y'all get in these comments and find these people, because I can't tell you anything. Novel Culture is a black couple, and then Rhonda wrote out Janelle Eliana. Y'all got a lot. Y'all got this. Abba just was kind enough to drop in a super chat. So this is going to Heather probably for gas money, girl.
Right? Exactly.
Right. So this money goes to Heather today. Thank you, Abba.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. Oh, there was a question about an EV. Would you ever consider getting an electric vehicle? And what would the savings be? I'm guessing it would cost a lot more to get it.
Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, as far as the whole vehicle being electric?
Yeah, an EV van is the question.
Yeah. I'm not sure. It sounds interesting.
Okay. All right. Well, if that's ever something that you move on to, like when you move to your second van, we can talk about that. Right?
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Talk about that. Koja and Yaya, young couple as well. Y'all know all these van lifers. I love it that y'all showed up and y'all supporting each other and telling each other's names, because I don't know any of you. Charlie Cheer has a huge following. I know Charlie Cheer. Is she also a teacher? I know that name.
I do too.
Does she teach? She does something. All right. Queen Tasha TV is an RV lifer.
Yep, she has a big purple bus, I think.
Ooh. All right. Dr. Elaine dropped off $5 for you.
Ooh. Gas money.
Yes. Okay, so we're leaving here knowing that Heather is going to create an app that drops on November 15th. Yes. And
Yes.
so if you want it, she's going to drop a link on her IG channel, which I have dropped a bunch, but I'm going to do it again. On her IG channel, you can get the link to her, not right now, but like later on today, I think, for where to go to get the app and maybe get on your email list so they have all the information. I don't know.
Yeah.
She's also going to start selling her leather work bags. But if y'all want one, there is a waiting list. I'm not going to say it again. Because some of y'all in the comments talking about you want bags. I don't care. The line starts in the back. Go ahead and get in the back of the line. But yes, her leather craft is beautiful, which she taught herself to do on Skillshare. So I'll break this all down. Everything Heather knows, Heather learned on the internet. Done. You want to know how to do this? You can't figure out how to do this? Get on YouTube. Get on Skillshare. You want to figure out how to make money to live this lifestyle? Get on, take a class. Heather learned how to do leather and has used that to finance some of this journey, right?
Yeah.
And she learned it online on public classes, right? Y'all,
Yeah.
this could be you, but you're playing.
What you playing?
This could be you. Heather works 15 hours a week. And only 5 of that is like the real like money maker, right? The other 10 is like, I do this for fun.
Here's a pretty bag after.
She works 5 hours a week. Now, I will say that I think, to be clear, you have certain privileges, like having a home base that you can hang out with in a month.
That's true.
But if you have that, if you can find that, and even without, the people are doing this without that, right? Like people are living this life without home bases. They just, you got to get in these groups, which we talked about earlier, and they're all in the comments. So you guys, I know the live comments are going to go away for a little while, but they'll be back by tomorrow. So if you're watching this immediately after, the live comments might not be here. They'll be back by tomorrow, and you can get all of the YouTube, because I wrote down all of the Facebook groups. So you'll get that info. So yes. Okay. Crystal Vanner is another person.
Yeah.
Y'all got, I was talking about I'll be checking out the leather. Abba, don't. Okay. Fine. That's fine. Jane Doe says we need an interactive website and app. How much do you charge? Y'all, we're not doing this on video because today's price is not tomorrow's price and YouTube is forever. So if you want to talk to Heather about building an app, because that is what she does professionally, she is a professional, hit her IG up. It is bean.heather.renee. I've dropped it in the comments 47 times. Go there and message her and ask questions. We're not putting prices up here because someone's gonna be like, I saw on Sheeta's video that you charge $2 and now you're trying to charge $3, and that's not fair. And that's not what we're doing.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Okay. Last question before we wrap this up is, how many miles are on your van?
Yeah, my van is 190 miles, 190,000 miles. So it's high mileage. It's a Chevy van, which is they usually run forever, way over 250. So I think I have a lot of life left in her. I'm really particular about maintenance, and the previous owner was as well. So that's helpful.
Okay. Actually, I have another question. What does 2022 look like for you and Fancy Fancy and Oliver?
So, the world's opening back up now. And so I am planning to move out of the country again in 2022, early 2022. So I'm actually thinking about whether I'm going to keep Fancy Fancy or, as bless her and send her off to another deserving individual to enjoy. So that's the plan. I think I'll be out of the country a lot next year, so it wouldn't be fair for her to just be sitting there. So she may be looking for a new owner soon.
Fancy, y'all. Fancy. She can open her own YouTube channel. Maybe not, but whatever. Yeah, that's actually a great idea. I love it when people, I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite now because I don't do this, but I love it when people sell things to and it can fund their next adventure, right? Like, so it makes sense to sell Fancy if you're not going to be around next year,
right?
Because you can build one. You built one, you can build another one.
That's right.
But it also, I love when people are like not holding on to things and they're willing to let it go in order to fund like joy. Annabella K says, "Much happiness to you, sis."
Thank you.
The best way to say that is with money.
Good job. Right. I love that.
Right? And Makia dropped some off too.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
I'm going to be PayPaling you later on today.
Okay.
Tomorrow when the math comes in, because YouTube takes a while to do that math. All right. So thanks to everyone who has donated to Heather's Gas Ain't Cheap Fund. And I feel like we learned so much today, like so much. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being an amazing guest and for bringing Oliver and the pictures of Fancy. I feel like we're all family now, right? Like,
yes, that's right.
Fancy is all of ours.
Yes.
But yes, so, and if you are going to sell her next year, make sure this audience knows, because we've seen her.
Let you know.
We know. Yes. So don't be shy. I know you're going to be posting on your IG, but like, that's the kind of thing you could drop on and let people know.
I will let you know for sure.
All right. Thanks so much for everything. Thanks for being here. Thanks all of you for watching, participating. Frankie was the hero today. She showed up and I don't know where you put out the call to get all these van lifers to come through, because I don't have this community, but thank you for bringing your people over here. Right. And thank you to all of you who participating. Phoenix Rising is saying she'd love to get some caravans going for us. We appreciate all of you that are not part of the regular community, that might be part of the community now, but all of you that showed up today and supported by giving your knowledge and information and dropping other people's channel names and all of that stuff. Thank you, because I would have been like, Diversify Van Life. Yeah. IG, right? And Heather Renee on IG. And that's all I got, because right. But I've been watching Heather for a while, and I know that like I can see the passion in all that you do, right? And I also needed to bully you into getting those bags and the green leather. Yep. So everybody got a little something.
We all win, right?
Everybody got a little something out of this today. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Heather. And I will talk to you guys next week about something. I don't know. I help women take career breaks. My career break course is open for enrollment from burnouttobliss.co. It is in the description if you want it. I also help people who want to move abroad, move to Mexico, take career breaks with one-on-one coaching. So you can always sign up for that too. That's in the description as well. And that's what I do. So you know what Heather does, you know what I do. If this is of interest to you, if you're like, I want to quit my job and travel around in a van for a year, I can help with part of that. Hi.
I have the nephew. The nephew wanted to say hi to everyone.
Hi.
What's your name?
I'm Benjamin.
Hi, Benjamin. How old are you?
9.
9 years old. All right, Benjamin. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Do you like it when Auntie Heather's there?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. All right, good. I thought you did.
Yeah.
Good. Thanks for stopping by, Benjamin. And bye, Heather.
Bye, everyone.
All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.